like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning, on an ever-spinning reel, like a snowball down a mountain, or a carnival balloon, like a carousel that's turning, running rings around the moon, like a clock whose hands are sweeping past the minutes of its face, and the world is like an apple, whirling silently in space, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind, like a tunnel you can follow to a tunnel of its own, down a hollow to a cavern where the sun has never shone, like a door that keeps revolving in a half-forgotten dream, or the ripples from a pebble someone tosses in a stream, like a clock whose hands are sweeping past the minutes of its face, and the world is like an apple whirling silently in space, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind. Keys that jingle in your pocket, words that jangle in your head. Why did summer go so quickly? Was it something that you said? Lovers walk along the shore and leave their footprints in the sand, with the sound of distant drumming, just the fingers of your hand. Pictures hanging in the hallway, and the fragment of a song. Can't remember names and faces, but to whom do they belong? When you knew that it was over, you were suddenly aware that the autumn leaves were turning to the color of her hair. A circle in a spiral, a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning, on an ever-spinning reel, as the images unwind, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind.
Aloha, Rollin here, and there could be some joy up ahead for you because on January 30th there is a new moon in Aquarius that will take you out of the bad moon that happened on New Year's and pretty much suckered you into all this tension and this fear and this, through January. So February is totally the opposite, and I hope you enjoy it. So this is show 895, and I decided not to go on camera because I'm just coming back from Laughlin, Nevada, where I just spent 4 or 5 days escaping a bad solar return, a bad birthday here in Hawaii. So, I went there for my health and safety for the next year. Solar returns, your real true birthday. It's important. Now I've got you here one more time for some ranting and railing about Uranus, because we had a new moon on Pluto and it squared Uranus. And so I have a couple things to say about it. First of all, Uranus goes bad just like Neptune. Just because a man labels himself a scientist doesn't mean he's telling you the truth, or he isn't afflicted by greed or desire or all these other things that Neptune is also famous for. So I'm going to talk a little bit about phony Uranus people. Now, I've been a so-called scientist for, almost like 40 years. And I have found so many phonies and so many fakes and so many people taking advantage of it that it's hard to detail. And a lot of them believe it too, and the results have been environmental disasters. The Myrex thing, for instance, on Oahu. And I don't want to get into it. There's one thing I want to get into this morning, though, for you, and that is, especially local to the Big Island, I don't usually believe in conspiracies, but here's one I saw happen involving Uranus. Uranus, besides science and astrology and the media, is also newspapers and television and the internet. It's all the mass media, communications media stuff. So Uranus can go bad. He can get a lot of power. Rupert Murdoch. You remember Ben Franklin was really ticked off at Whiston and Haley and Newton, who occupied the chair of science in England. And had failed to defend astrology. So here's Ben Franklin saying these three so-called scientists were bad, evil scientists. Okay, and check this out. Yes, this is a real live conspiracy. A conspiracy on the part of people that own Stevens Media. They're hiding behind, there it is. Now, these people own both newspapers on the Big Island, the Hilo paper and the Kona paper. They are right-wing fanatics. They are fascist pigs, if you know, they're representations of the 1%. And what they did was a disaster for the Big Island. We had a wonderful newspaper here called Kauai Landing. The newspaper was small like this, and it went on, and it was free, and it went on for a long time. And it was very progressive. And they had covered the environment, the Hawaiiana, the taking care of the island, pollution, green stuff, and it was real. And then along comes Stephen Media and said, oh, well, we want to get rid of these guys, so we have a total monopoly on right-wing newspaper crap, and they feed you up George Wills in the editorial column. They're trying to convert everybody on the Big Island over to the right wing, the fascist pigs that have done so much damage already. So they want Kauai Landing out of business. Yes, when I sent Kauai Landing my expose on carbon monoxide, which kills so many people, you know, in Hawaii and on the Big Island in particular, 2 out of 3 deaths on the highway are carbon monoxide. Totally, these guys at Kauai Landing printed it immediately. And I sent it off to our local newspapers, and of course they would not print it. Oh no, nothing environmental. So what happened? Well, these guys at Stevens Media got on the phone and went around to all the advertisers in Kauai Landing, which is a small family-run newspaper, and they convinced some of the advertisers that they, the Big Island Weekly, were another green newspaper. Yeah, so they're environmental and you know, and all that stuff. And they convinced enough of the advertisers so that Kauai Landing couldn't make their money payments. And I called up some of the advertisers in Kauai Landing and said, hey, what are you doing? Kind of switch over to Big Island Weekly. You're abandoning Kauai Landing? Kauai Landing was so great. The pictures on the front of the thing were old Hawaiian woodcuts and stuff from history that were wonderful, wonderful stuff. They, you know, you people kept copies of the Kauai Landing just for the front page art, the historical stuff. Anyway, bang, suddenly they're gone. What happens? Big Island Weekly shows up. It's free. Is it green? Well, it has a strange, phony green quality to it. And they purport to be green in several ways. But the truth is, it's a conspiracy. Stevens Media went and seduced some of the advertisers away from Kauai Landing, put them out of business. The last progressive voice in print we had on the Big Island. And now we got this. And this is very sad. They still pretend to be green in some way. Here's green, cultivating farmers, but there's no real green in here if you read the articles, you know. And if you look at some of the stuff in their editorial, some of their editorial pages, well, the cartoons are right-wing stuff. It's all about local business, yeah, and their letters to the editor are all about, here's Mr. Bullet, and they're all right-wing stuff. It's rather incredible. So you go through this rag, and what you find out is they have a couple of articles that really aren't green. This is a weird one. This guy calls himself the anarchist. And you read his stuff. He's not an anarchist. No, he's a right-wing pig attacking anything that he thinks is socialism. and he lumps socialism and fascism together. And this man has no credibility at all. He's certainly not an anarchist. So here's another one. This here's an atheist. Oh yeah, so this is about religion, and this lady's a fanatic, and there's nothing progressive or in brotherhood about this. It goes on and on. And who's the big ads here? Here's a big ad. It's Oceanic. Oceanic does not publish the Channel 54, the public access numbers that the other newspaper does. They won't show this channel on their Sunday TV guide. They don't. They leave it blank. They won't put it on. For me, this is really egregious. They spend a whole page in this rag, the Big Island Weekly, called Free Will Astrology. Free Will Astrology by Rob Brezhnev has no astrology in it at all. None. I go through this thing. There's no reality. Oh, the guy's a talented writer. And he has funny things in here. Scorpio. He gives you some egg like a chicken provides milk for a cow, supplies will like, he goes on and on and on here. It has nothing to do with Scorpio. It has nothing to do with Saturn in Scorpio. This is a terrible affront to astrology. These guys know what they're doing. This guy's a phony, and he's going to convince you that astrology is phony. Anybody who reads that isn't going to watch my show. They're going to think I'm Rob Brezhnev. And they always got their, here's somebody who's doing this product, huh? Well, it turns out it's not local. They give you a tide chart, big deal. But by and large, buy local, that's supported by local. This is another, I don't even go into this ridiculous stuff. Mostly what they do is they list a bunch of so-called calendar events. Yes, there's a bunch of that. And now there's a bunch of music stuff. These are all for the nightclubs where they serve alcohol and stuff. And classified ads are a joke. This paper's a joke. It's so sad. Somebody pretended to be green, and they went after the advertisers, grabbed them from Kauai landing, and if that's not a conspiracy, I don't know what it is. But I'll tell you, do not pick this up. Don't support it. Even though it's free, don't pick it up. These people deserve not to be in business. These people deserve to be put out of business. This is the worst example of a conspiracy by the right wing. Yes, conspiracy. I can't stand it. Phew. Settle down, Frost. These guys, the Kona paper is going out of business fast. These other guys will be gone. Besides, you've got a new moon that's going to turn on Uranus, and maybe we'll get some truth in the media. And the internet is putting these phony scientists phony media people out of business, we hope. Calm down, Frost. It's temporary. Take it easy. Just wait till it goes around again, a wheel within a wheel. And on that new moon, on January 30th, you'll sense the brotherhood and the environmental movements, and everybody will get it together. And we've had enough guns and police and plutonium and pollution, haven't we, for the month of January? Eek! Here, let's go do the sky mirror and see what's coming up day by day for you guys, huh? Come on.
Like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning on an ever spinning reel, like a snowball down a mountain or a carnival balloon, like a carousel that's turning, running rings around the moon, like a clock whose hands are sweeping past the minutes of its face. And the world is like an apple whirling silently in space, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind. Like a tunnel that you follow to a tunnel of its own, down a hollow to a cavern where the sun has never shone. Like a door that keeps revolving in a half-forgotten dream, or the ripples from a pebble someone tosses in a stream. Like a clock whose hands are sweeping past the minutes of its face. And the world is like an apple whirling silently in space, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind.
And here is 21st century humanity's attempt, my own amateurish attempt, to represent the windmills of your mind and the circles revolving. And believe it or not, this is what happens in your mind, and it gets reflected in the outer world. So when I hear tweet, 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 and I look out the window and there's a beautiful red bird, I know it's Venus. Anyway, what's going on? I got some notes. I better go over them. Nice new moon, January 30th. Sextiles Uranus. Doesn't like some of these others. The last of the bad moon, shows up Tuesday. Tuesday, the moon is going to go by Pluto in Capricorn, where the new moon was January 1st. That's on January 28th. Is the last of the Plutonians. Some questions. Venus conjuncts Pluto. Yeah, on January 28th. Looks like girls with guns. Question I got, because I've been studying, PTSD is a virus. 3, 6, or 9 months, you're out of it. It's no different than claustrophobia. We got psychiatrists leading us astray. We got an incompetent medical system. But a question strikes me is, do girls get PTSD? They're probably less likely, because the way that you catch it, somebody who's infectious has to cough, sneeze, get a globule of spit into your eyeball, which is the entrance to your brain. And girls don't do that so much. Anyway, it's not good for the girls here at the end of January. From 1/28 through February 1st, girls with guns. Uh-oh. What else have we got here? Mercury squaring Saturn. It's tough. It starts your week. It means you're not going to communicate and transportate easily because there's going to be ice and cold. Eek. And finally, Mercury conjuncts Neptune. And there's going to be some kids in trouble with liquids. And maybe some kids even get drowned. And some drug problems with kids. And that all cycles in at February 5th or 6th. Now, on to your world. What's it like in the circles of your mind? Well, Mars is in kind of getting along. He's not following the rules, though. We still have a nasty T-square from Pluto to Uranus, and Jupiter's filling it in now. The lawyers have come to argue, and they don't like the guns. And you're going to hear a lot of that, I hope. Outlaw all handguns. How's it go day by day? We're going to run the moon around the edge here, and as it makes angles to things, I make a little note. Whatever planet it is, if it's a good angle, a sextile or trine, it's blue. If it's an opposition or square, it's a bad angle, it's in red. And there's the key to how you read this. When you're watching it Thursday night, the moon is still in Scorpio. And it's not too bad. You're not getting anything done, but there was a conjunction to the North Node. Everybody's helping each other Thursday morning, and some music around maybe. It gets better Friday morning. Friday morning, the moon's still in Scorpio, and it makes some nice angles. It sextiles Pluto, and that's where the new moon was. So there's Discovery Friday morning on the 24th. And there's a trine to Jupiter, wisdom comes out, and a sextile to Venus. And wow, this could be very pleasurable and fun. Yes, it could be funny and sexy and powerful Friday morning. Hope you enjoy it. as you go towards Friday night, it's okay till you get really to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday when the moon hits Saturn. And it pretty much destroys communication, transportation. It's cold, it's icy. And that's so Friday night, don't plan on going out. You may not be able to. Saturday morning, you're still going to feel that Saturn-Mercury square up till early breakfast. And it's cold, and it's icy, and it's hard to move around and get places. And it continues pretty much through Saturday. In the middle of the day, well, towards dinner really, the moon shifts from Scorpio into Sagittarius. And then you get the square to Neptune, and here you got problems with liquids. It could be gasoline, oil, water, flooding, melting stuff, but there's liquid problems here. Sorry, Saturday night late. Sunday morning, hey, there's the trine to Uranus and the sun. And we're getting close to that nice new moon. And there should be some enlightenment from your rational side. That's what science is supposed to be. Too bad Whiston and Newton, and Haley didn't have a little better ethic about pure science, huh? And some of the people we got today, and the FDA and the EPA, and these government scientists. Don't let me get started. I hope you get the good side of Uranus. Astrology works, Yes. And we're just touching it. One of the things I note is that there's no work on fixed stars and no work on eclipses. And some of the stuff I'm interested in, well, I'm 73 and I'm beginning to find areas that need exploring. If only the mainstream science would get behind this. If we took all those poor, foolish, ignorant psychiatrists, psychologists, scientists, social scientists and stuff, and pointed them at astrology, we could probably make tremendous progress here, and you'd have a really wonderful science that would support your Aquarian civilization for the next 2,000 years. But I'm afraid the corporations have bought most of them off. You can't get an honest newspaper anymore. Enough. Monday, the moon's still in Sagittarius. There's a nice sextile to Mars, and you feel good. You got energy. I'm going to go fix some stuff. And Monday, the kids are happy, and you're communicating and moving around again. Got out and shoveled all the ice off, I guess. Here's some goodies from Neptune. Monday night, there's music, there's religion, there's art. Did a good job, didn't you, Monday? Look out, Tuesday's coming at you. And Tuesday, the 28th, we got the conjunction to Pluto. Eek, a bug! More panicky, more Plutonian stuff. A square to Uranus. The internet's out. The newspaper's lying to you. There's no brotherhood. An opposition to Jupiter. The hell with the left wing and the ACLU and taking care of people. It's all about money, isn't it? That's the way you'll feel, especially Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning there's a square to Mars. We're angry and ticked off. Yes, but there's a sextile to Saturn. Let's all go vote Republican. Get more police. I don't know. I don't like Saturn much. Saturn is the bankers and the insurance guys and stuff. So, there Tuesday, Wednesday, you're getting the last shot of that bad moon. And here Thursday on the 30th, right away, here's a nice sextile to Uranus. And you'll feel it all day. And there's a new moon. Yes. It's a new moon at 11 degrees of Aquarius. It says, give up your Pluto, your power and control trips. Forget your guns and weapons. Sextiles Uranus. We got to take care of people. They're all our brothers, Yeah, even the weird ones. So look, this is a new day here, January 30th. Good time to start new habits. Good time to dump your foolish support of these newspapers on the Big Island. Stop the sending them a check and your subscription. Stop that stuff. Don't support these guys. No. You'll feel good. Take a little revolutionary action yourself. Friday morning, the 31st, There's a sextile to Mars. You can get out and get stuff done, physical stuff. There's a square to Saturn, though. It's cold, and there's not much time and not much money, but you can really still be a hero here. Friday morning, the 31st. Mercury's happy, and as you go into Friday night, here's a conjunction to Neptune. Here's a time for church. Here's the time for Jesus, for higher heart, to bring out your feelings, as Neptune enlightens through the feeling and the heart. Uranus enlightens through the mind and the intellect. So this is heart time, Friday night, and I hope you're with somebody you love. You're going to be sensitive. If it's bad in your chart, you'll probably get some bad smells here Friday night. Saturday, February 1st, it's a new day, hooray! And here's sextiles to Jupiter. Wisdom comes out. To Venus, there's lovingness, there's comfort zone, there's a sextile to Pluto, discovery. We just, maybe we will get rid of all the guns and live happily ever after. Can you get rid of the police guns too, please? And the army guns? And all the guns in the movies? Wow, what a job. Well, it's doable, believe it or not. All you got to do is change your mind. 100 monkeys change their mind, and suddenly it's like smoking tobacco, which was defended voraciously by tobacco addicts. And now, can't hardly smoke tobacco anywhere. It just happened quickly, didn't it? Well, you can do the same thing with guns, with pistols. Not long guns. Everybody could have any long gun they want. Anyway, probably assault rifles and 50 calibers are silly, but you get real here Sunday morning. There's a nice trine to Saturn, and you can get your budget and pay the bills, be on time, and figure out how to keep the ice from breaking off your electrical lines and stuff. And you're handling. You're getting organized Sunday morning. Good for you. In the afternoon, the moon changes into Aries, and you're back into the discomfort zone, which really shows up Monday here around the middle of the day when the moon hits Uranus and squares Pluto. And there's some jitteriness and aloneness and power problems, but it's not near as bad. The lunation is gone, and the sting is taken out of it, and there could be some joy in this month of February 2014. You can get the show live. Olelo.org live streams it Thursday night, 8:30 p.m., Friday morning, 8 a.m. And the last 4 shows are posted at frak.com/astro. Here's the new website. Look for the turtle. Aloha.